Hello, everyone, and welcome to my presentation. Let me introduce myself. My name is Sina Ghanem. I'm a senior network architect of Huawei Asia Pacific, and today I'm going to talk about ultra broadband intelligent infrastructures and how ultra broadband can drive us toward digital transformation. By looking at the broadband all over the world, we can see most of the countries has considered the broadband as an investment that helps economic growth. As you can see, 20% investment in the ICT can help 1% growth in GDP. And ICT investment return 6.7% into non-ICT technology. This is a very interesting fact that you can see digital economy growing 2.5 times faster than the world economy. And most of the countries across the globe has already knows how important broadband development is to grow the GDP, create a job opportunity, and bring efficiency and innovation to e-government services. But the question is, why ultra broadband is that much important? What are the reasons behind ultra broadband importance? There are top 3 reasons that we are going to talk about that today. The first is the strong requirement for the high bandwidth services. More and more users are going to use high bandwidth consuming services. As you know, the global enterprise lease-line market from 2016 to 2020 has increased up to $72 billion, which means it's a huge demand for the broadband and the capacity for the business and also for the users from the home. The second one is that the broadband can really revive our business to achieve the competitiveness for the large scale businesses, to improve their brands in the market, and to have a good service quality for the banks, for the health sectors, for education and transportation. Broadband is really important because it can easily provide the service accessible for the users and reduce the cost. Moreover, broadband is crucial for digital transformation, because it improved the business accessibility for a variety of business, and also it's improving people lifestyle, because continuous improvement in e-government service and seamless services can affect the people lifestyle a lot. If we consider the B2B market, the broadband is very, very crucial in the next 3 to 4 years. As you can see, according to the Gartner Hype, in 2017, most of the operators has been considering technology as a breakthrough in order to provide them more revenue and more profit and more growth. Once we reach in 2021, the new technology like AI, like cloud computing, like VR and IoT also become the significant, and the percentage of this technology utilization in order to make the business more smooth has increased a lot. But what will happen after 2021? As you can see, in B2B main contribution with the revenue, 32% of the customer for telco opportunity by 2025 will be B2B users, out of 60% from the government and 8% from consumers. This means these high-value customers need to have a very efficient and high-quality broadband connection in order to bring more revenue to the telco operators. From the other side, for the B2H also, the broadband is very important. As you can see, 72% of the global percentage of the work from the home already happening because of the COVID and epidemic situation. And we believe 34% of this 72% is going to be permanent working from the home. So the epidemic situation in the globe has opened a new normal for the people to consider the broadband as a high value service to do the work remotely and get the service as soon as possible. This is also put the pressure on the operators to develop the FTTH, and this is helping FTTH to grow. But growing FTTH itself is not enough, because once you reach to each home, we need to go farther inside the home. That's why the challenge today is we need to provide a fiber to the room, and we need to provide good Wi-Fi coverage for the users inside the building to have a giga experience. According to the research in China, the FTTR business development has been very crucial for the business. 5,000 new FTTR subscribers in first commercial launch, and it could increase the ARPU from 159 China yuan to 399 China yuan, which is a huge business development in terms of the fiber to the home in China. So how can we achieve the reliable and ultra capacity broadband networks? What are the techniques and what are the methodology? According to the Huawei, we're considering in three major areas. First, in access, providing the giga to the home, to the enterprise users with the techniques like the Wi-Fi 6, fiber to the room, or quick ODN, or fast fiber deployment with minimum field work for the operation. Second is ultra synergy. Ultra synergy is intelligent IP infrastructure, make the infrastructure very simple and easy, reduce the unnecessary hop, and provide a slicing and service quality by the protocols like segment routing V6 or Flex Ethernet. And from the intelligent point of view, providing the SDN platform, one controller, in order to manage the all gigabit anywhere network and ultra synergy networks. And it would be easy to be integrated with the orchestration layers, with the OSS and DSS layers. So let's have a look at these three steps a little bit more details. For the gigabit anywhere in the access side, you can see at the moment we are having the concept of the gigabit to the home. So gigabit to the home is already happening as an FTTH, but this is moving forward to gigabit to the room. So technology like a gigabit 5G access plus gigabit broadband by the PON and gigabit Wi-Fi can provide a high quality service and broadband for 4K and VR for the home users. So FTTR can provide a gigabit not only to the house or to the doorstep, but also to each room, which makes the service much more affordable and also much more easier for user to use. From the room point of view, also, we need to understand the ONT is very important, because after user receive the fiber to their home, they need to know how is the service quality and what are the bottlenecks for in terms of the service. So enhanced EAI ONT, it helps with the built-in AI function to understand what is the service, how many connections are connected to this ONT, what are the users, what kind of tablets, what kind of phone are already connected, and what are the service for each of these connections. This smart ONT helps operator to understand the bottleneck inside the home for the users and try to manage it centrally through the intelligent management system. Once we are moving out from the home, we are reaching to the access network. In the access network, what is very important is simplicity and the capacity. The concept of optics superside is the new concept introduced by Huawei to the industry that is closing OLT plus ONT handshake. This is the compact OTN connecting to the OLT and provide colorful light from the OLT all the way to the optical networks. It is a kind of STH transformations. So it is a maximum utilization of the fiber in the access. You don't need to change the IP configuration or STH configuration. It is very simple and easy. It can be offered to the site, it can be offered to the enterprise, and it can be offered to the home users. So immediately after the access from the PON, we are reaching to the colorful optical fiber with a huge capacity. This is happening by the concept named OTN to the CO. OTN to the CO is the new way to overcome the challenge by SDH modernizations and outside costs that help us to reach the solution is that video, 5G, and these line services are going to be much more popular these days. And we cannot just use the SDH or traditional IP connection to provide new port or new fiber for the service. We need much more reliable connection, maximum utilization on the fiber, very simple as what we say, one hop to the cloud. So the OTN comes to the picture to help us to give us ultra capacity on the fiber by the optical channel, by the super speed up to 400 giga is going to be to the CO side. The best experience, no need to do the configuration, very reliable fiber connection with low latency. This is saving a lot of CapEx and OpEx. It's easy for operator to deploy it, and also it has a very short time to the market. For the next step, which is also synergy, we also need to consider the development of the IP networks as well. That's why the technology like IPv6 Plus come to the pictures. The reason behind IPv6 Plus is intelligent management system, intelligent connection, and provide intelligence for broadband. IPv6 Plus utilizing technology like SRv6 or Segment Routing v6 or VAR in order to do simple service provisioning to reduce the time. As you can see, according to our experience, it can do service provisioning from 3 days to 10 minutes. And the AI-based also operation in the IPv6 Plus can reduce 95% of troubleshooting. This is deployed by IETF, and in contribution with SRv6 committee is going to be very significant move in the IP networks for providing the reliable 5G and cloud services. What is there inside the IP version 6? 3 techniques have been used to make the IP pipe much more simple and easy to transfer the broadband services. From the access side, it will be the new technology 50G SFP, which is saving a lot of cost for the operators. Other than putting 10G with 4 fiber and 4 IP address, we simply use 150G port SFP, and it can be upgradable to 100G, which is easy for the access side. From the transport side, we are using the technology like slicing and Flex Ethernet. Flex Ethernet in the 50G side, providing a physical layer slicing, not like a normal pump. And also SRv6 providing the different quality of service for different services inside the IP core. And from the automation point of view, we are doing the SDN controllers, automated orchestration to see all these layers centrally in one software or one server, very easy and very effective. But from the IP side and from the access side, we have seen what is going on. What about the optical side, which is also very important? The optical transport also needs to provide the capacity. By the technology like the Super C in the transmission, we can utilize 96 channel to 120 channels. So evolution of the bandwidth on the fiber can reach from 100 GE, 200 and 400 GE. This is a significant growth by using Super C technology in the capacity boosting transmission. For network simplification, it also provides saving 75% of space and power with all optical cross connection. So this new optical extension, we have in the concept of the one chassis, one board. Before it was one sub chassis, one board, which make the space and power saving. In terms of reliability, we have the ASON 2.0. This enabled speedy recovery from the minutes to the second and providing 5-9 recovery for optical services to serve broadband users much better. And from the network monetization also, it is the best in the class, and most of the operators are realizing that this is the way for moving from the ROADM and DWDM to the OXC. If we look at a little bit more details, we can see that 50% in footprint and 30% saving the power. Why the technology is going to happen. 1 millisecond latency in the core, and the concept of one board, one slot, and one directions is in OXC can save a lot of power, and we are not going to be worried about lack of space. or lack of power or the link congestion, because after ONC has deployed, one chassis is more than enough to provide high reliability and full capacity for the fiber up to 48 terabit, and already this technology is supporting 200G plus. A smooth evolution. So 4 points are very important. As I have explained, IP part, this 3 point was important, 50G slicing and orchestration. In the transmission, liquid OTN, which providing 2 mega to 100 gigabit in one small pizza-sized box on the user side. EAI ONT, which is a smart ONT with AI chipset, understand what is going on in the user side with the full intelligence of the user services. End-to-end optical architectures, OXC with support to 400 and 800 gigabit, and also intelligent OAN are 4 crucial parts of the transport network in order to provide ultra broadband services. But for the management, this is also very important because we need to have integrated management and service supply, and all of the integration needs to happen simply in one layer, and all-in-one services should be done in one single layer. We provide a solution addressing controller named iMaster NCE to manage IP layer and optical layer by one GUI and user interfaces. And it makes very simple to supply the services through the single domain intelligent management by the single control unit. Automation cannot happen without getting help from the AI, because AI always enables us to have a very intelligent broadband network. AI can give us the suggestion, what is the problem, what is the forecast for this problem, what is the history of this problem, and what are the changes supposed to happen in terms of the fixing this problem, what kind of configuration is required. So our controller, taking help from the AI learning, try to understand what is the elements in the networks having the challenge in terms of the capacity for service overload in all transport, access, and IP layers. This helps to optimize, maintain, deploy, and plan the network much more easier. And also the system is fully open to the OSS BSS layer. After talking about the ultra broadband and looking at the access side, transmission side, and IP side, the question is, all these new changes in terms of the technology is supposed to happen in our network. Are we ready or not? What is the network readiness ratio? We are helping the operators through the analyzing their networks by very advanced model named KAI, which investigating the network in 5 aspects. As you can see here, congestion, always on, scalable, simplified, and intelligence. And we are providing a score for the network from these 5 aspects. What is your network readiness to be ready for ultra broadband? You can have a 360-degree view of the challenges and the gaps between the existing networks and the network in 2025 to have a better revenue and serve the B2B and B2H users. This model also has been utilized by a lot of operators across the globe, which helping the operator to understand what is the readiness ratio. That was all in my presentation. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope it was informative for you.